Welcome to Fleur Fluency. Let's learn English every day. We will make English easy. Subscribe now and let's learn.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fleur Fluency, your favorite space to improve your English naturally while exploring deep, meaningful life topics. I'm Fleur.
And I'm Haren. Welcome back, everyone. Whether you were listening to us while taking a morning walk in the park, preparing a meal in your kitchen, commuting to work on a busy train, or simply relaxing at home after a long day, we are so glad you chose to spend your time with us today.
Today, we are tackling a massive, incredibly important topic that affects every single one of us: how to live a meaningful life and stop wasting your precious time.
That is such a vital topic for everyone, regardless of age or background. Just last week, I opened my smartphone settings and looked at my weekly screen time report. Do you ever take a look at your screen time report?
Oh, to be completely honest, sometimes I am terrified to open it. It can be a very eye-opening and intimidating experience, can't it?
Well, I was genuinely shocked when I saw mine. It showed that I spent nearly 3.5 hours in a single day just scrolling through short, random videos on social media. 3.5 hours. When you break that down, that is enough time to watch a great film, read 5 full chapters of an inspiring book, cook a healthy meal, or have a real, uninterrupted conversation with a dear friend.
That happens to almost all of us in the modern world. Time is a remarkably quiet resource. It slips away silently without making a sound. You wake up, you get caught up in tiny, unimportant tasks, you check a few notifications, and suddenly it's 9 o'clock at night and you wonder, where did my entire day go?
Exactly. So, in today's episode, we want to share practical, real-world strategies to help you take back full control of your schedule, build rewarding daily habits, stop procrastinating, and live every day with clear intention.
And, as always, we have written this entire episode using clear, accessible English. We have also included dedicated language spotlights throughout the show so you can expand your vocabulary, learn common idioms, and improve your listening comprehension while following along.
So, make yourself comfortable, grab a notebook and a pen if you like to write down new phrases, and let's jump right in.
Let's start by reflecting on what time actually represents. Why do you think people guard their money so carefully but give away their time so freely and carelessly?
That's a fascinating psychological question. Think about it. If a total stranger walked up to you on the street and asked you to give them $100 out of your pocket, you would hesitate immediately. You would think to yourself, why should I hand over my hard-earned money to someone else?
Right, absolutely. But if a friend or a coworker asks you to spend 2 hours doing something completely unproductive, or if an algorithm on your phone distracts you for 3 hours, many people give away that time without thinking twice.
Precisely. The fundamental difference is that money is a renewable resource. If you lose $100 today, you can work hard, earn a paycheck, and make that money back next week. But time is completely non-refundable. Once a single minute passes, it vanishes into history, and you can never, ever get it back.
Non-refundable. What a powerful word to keep in mind. Let's pause right here for our first vocabulary lesson. Language spotlight. Let's stop for our first language spotlight. Non-refundable. Adjective, describing something that cannot be returned, exchanged, or brought back once it is used or lost. Example sentence, remember that your time is non-refundable, so spend it on things that truly matter to you. To slip away. Phrasal verb, to pass quickly, quietly, or unnoticed. Example sentence, if you don't plan your weekend, the whole time will just slip away. Intentionally. Adverb, doing an action on purpose with deliberate thought and planning. Example sentence, instead of letting your day happen by accident, plan your schedule intentionally.
So, how can our listeners stop letting their hours slip away and start living more intentionally?
The absolute first step towards change is awareness. You cannot repair a leak in your house if you don't even know where the water is coming from, right? The same logic applies to your daily schedule. We recommend tracking your time for just 2 consecutive days. Keep a small notebook with you or use a notes app on your phone and write down what you do during every single hour of the day.
And the key during those 2 days is not to judge yourself or feel guilty about what you see. You are simply acting as an objective observer of your own life. When you do this, you will quickly identify what productivity experts call time leaks.
A time leak is an unnoticed pocket of your day where 20, 30, or 60 minutes disappear into mindless activities. Think about all those subtle moments that add up over a week. Lying in bed for 45 minutes after your alarm goes off, rechecking your email inbox 6 times an hour, or scrolling on your phone while waiting in line or riding public transport.
Another major time leak is what psychologists call decision paralysis. Have you ever sat down on your couch in the evening, opened a video streaming app, and spent 45 minutes just reading titles and watching trailers without ever actually picking a movie?
Oh, I think everyone listening can relate to that. By the time you finally select something to watch, you are already tired and your evening is basically over.
Exactly. That decision fatigue drains your mental energy before you even begin enjoying yourself. But once you write down your schedule and pinpoint those exact time leaks, you give yourself the power to fix them. You can replace those empty moments with small, enriching habits that bring real joy, health, or knowledge into your life.
When you begin treating your hours the same value and respect that you treat your savings account, your entire perspective shifts. Saying no to meaningless distractions is really just saying yes to your personal growth,
Welcome
your
to
mental
part 2.
peace, and your
Now that
long-term
we've discussed
dreams.
the value of time
That is a
and
perfect
how to
way to
spot
summarize
time
it.
leaks,
When you
let's
value your
address
time,
another
you
massive
value
reason why
yourself.
people waste years of their potential, waiting for the perfect moment.
Ah, yes. This is one of the most common obstacles we hear about from English learners and people working on creative projects. People say things like, I will start practicing my spoken English once work gets less stressful. I will start going to the gym after the holiday season. I will start writing my book next year when I have more free time.
We call this dangerous mindset the someday trap. People go through life acting as if they have an endless bank account full of tomorrows, but waiting for every circumstance in your life to be 100% ideal before taking action is a complete trap because life is never 100% perfect or stress-free.
Absolutely right. Let's share a real story with our listeners. Think back to when we decided to record our very first episode for this podcast. We felt so nervous. We didn't own high-end audio equipment, we didn't know much about editing software, and we were constantly worried about making grammatical mistakes on camera.
I remember those days so vividly. My microphone was literally balanced on top of a messy stack of heavy cookbooks on my kitchen table. And every single time a bus or a truck drove past the window, we had to stop recording, delete the audio, and start the whole paragraph over again.
It was chaotic, but if we had waited until we owned a professional, soundproof recording studio and had 100% flawless confidence, this podcast channel would not exist today. We would still be sitting at home talking about what we wanted to create someday instead of actually creating it.
Language spotlight. Procrastination. Noun. The act of delaying or putting off tasks that require attention, often in favor of easier or more pleasant activities. Example sentence. Procrastination is rarely about laziness. It is usually driven by a fear of making mistakes. To take the leap. Idiom. To make a bold decision or commit to a new action after a period of doubt or hesitation. Example sentence. She was nervous about moving abroad, but she finally decided to take the leap. Flawless. Adjective.
perfect, completely without errors, marks, or weaknesses. Example sentence. You do not need a flawless vocabulary to have a wonderful, meaningful conversation in English.
That experience taught us a rule that we share with all of our students. Never aim for perfection, always aim for progress. Doing something imperfectly gives you something real that you can edit, improve, and build upon.
That is such a crucial point. If you sit down and write one messy, imperfect page of English sentences, you now have a page of text that you can check in a dictionary, show to a teacher, and learn from. But if you sit and wait for the perfect mood, you write 0 pages, and 0 pages give you absolutely nothing to work with.
Fear of failure is almost always the hidden force behind procrastination. We hide behind excuses like, I am too busy or I'm not ready yet. Because if we don't try, we protect ourselves from making mistakes. But in reality, refusing to take action is the only guaranteed way to fail.
Try viewing fear not as a solid brick wall blocking your path, but as a doorway you simply need to walk through. On the other side of that initial awkwardness and hesitation lies skill, confidence, and true self-improvement. The longer you stand in front of the door staring at it, the scarier the door appears in your imagination.
So, if you are listening to our voices right now and you've been delaying a goal, whether that's speaking English out loud, applying for a new job, taking up a new hobby, or starting a health journey, let this episode be your official signal to take that small leap today.
Welcome to part 3. Let's shift our focus now to another fundamental pillar of a deeply satisfying life: relationships and genuine human connection. What does living a meaningful life mean to you on a personal level?
For me personally, a meaningful life cannot be measured purely by professional titles, financial wealth, or completed to-do lists. It comes down to the quality of the connections we build with other human beings. Achieving a personal goal feels rewarding, but being able to share that moment with family, friends, or a supportive community is what gives the achievement its true value.
I agree completely. Yet modern technology and lifestyle habits have made authentic human connection harder than ever to maintain. We live in an era characterized by constant, divided attention.
Yes, that phenomenon is everywhere. Have you walked into a cafe or a restaurant recently and observed a family or group of close friends sitting around a dining table, but every single person is staring down at their own glowing smartphone screen in total, heavy silence?
Yes, it has become an extremely common sight in almost every city around the world. People are physically sitting inches away from each other, but mentally, emotionally, and socially, they're in completely separate digital universes.
That observation brings us directly to an essential concept in personal well-being: being present.
Let's break down these valuable expressions. Divided attention. Phrase. A state where your mental focus is split between 2 or more competing tasks or stimuli. Example sentence. Trying to study English while watching television results in divided attention and poor memory retention. To be present. Idiom. To give your full mental, emotional, and physical focus to the exact moment you're experiencing right now. Example sentence. When you're having dinner with your family, try to put your phone away and be truly present. Undivided attention. Phrase. Complete, focused mental concentration given entirely to one single person, topic, or activity. Example sentence. The teacher gave the student her undivided attention while he practiced his speech.
Here is a simple, practical challenge that we want to issue to every single listener this week. The next time you sit down to share a meal or have a face-to-face conversation with someone you care about, take your phone and put it inside a jacket pocket, inside a bag, or in an entirely different room.
Give that person your complete, undivided attention. Practice active listening. Maintain eye contact, nod to show understanding, ask thoughtful follow-up questions, and resist the urge to glance at your screen whenever a notification chimes. Giving someone your full focus is one of the most respectful, generous gifts you can offer in our modern, distracted world.
It truly is. In a world where everyone is constantly distracted, sincere attention has become a rare commodity. When you give someone your full focus, you communicate a powerful message without saying a single word. You are telling them, "You matter more to me right now than whatever electronic message is waiting on my phone."
And this principle applies directly to your language learning journey as well. When you dedicate time to study English, listen to a podcast episode, or practice grammar exercises, avoid trying to multitask. Put away secondary screens, close unnecessary browser tabs, and give your full mind to the language. You'll absorb new vocabulary twice as fast when your brain isn't battling 3 competing distractions.
Exactly. When you train yourself to be fully present in whatever you are doing, ordinary moments transform into memorable, rich experiences instead of just fast, forgotten hours slipping past you.
Welcome to the 4th and final part of our episode. Now that we have covered time management, overcoming fear, and building deeper connections, let's bring all these concepts together into concrete daily practices. Here are 4 practical habits you can implement starting tomorrow morning.
Habit number 1, protect your first hour, the golden hour. Avoid checking social media feeds, text messages, or stressful news updates during the first 30 to 60 minutes after waking up. Give your mind a peaceful environment to wake up naturally. Drink a glass of water, do some light stretching, enjoy a hot beverage, or review 10 new English vocabulary words.
Habit number 2, the top 3 priority rule. Instead of writing down an overwhelming to-do list with 20 different tasks, choose just 3 core priorities every morning. Focus your primary energy on finishing those 3 key goals before you spend time worrying about minor emails, background chores, or administrative tasks.
Habit number 3, practice evening gratitude. Right before you go to sleep at night, spend 2 minutes writing down or reflecting on 3 specific things you were thankful for during the day. They do not need to be massive achievements. A nice interaction with a neighbor, a sunny afternoon walk, or a delicious meal all count. This simple exercise rewires your brain to look for positive experiences.
Habit number 4, active English output. Don't just consume English passively by listening while your mind wanders. Practice active output. Pause our audio, repeat sentences aloud to practice your pronunciation, and try forming your own unique sentences using the new vocabulary words from our language spotlights.
Now let's move into our popular listener Q&A segment. We selected 2 fantastic questions sent in by members of our global community.
Our first question comes from Marco, a software developer listening to us from Brazil. Marco writes, "Hello, I love the podcast. My biggest struggle is that I work 10 hours every day. By the time I get home in the evening, my brain is completely exhausted and I have 0 energy left to study English or work on personal goals. How can I stay consistent without burning out?"
That is such an authentic, relatable question. Thank you for sharing that with us. What strategy would you recommend for someone in this situation?
I strongly recommend leveraging what productivity experts call dead time through a method called habit stacking. You do not need large, uninterrupted blocks of free time at home in the evening to make impressive progress in English.
That's right. Dead time refers to routine moments during your regular day when your hands or body are busy, but your brain is completely free. For example, listening to an English podcast or audiobook during your daily commute on the bus, train, or while driving. Reviewing vocabulary flashcards on your phone while waiting in line at the bank or grocery store. Practicing English speaking out loud to yourself while washing dishes, folding laundry, or cooking dinner.
If you utilize 3 15-minute pockets of dead time throughout your workday, by the time you walk through your front door at night exhausted, you have already completed 45 minutes of active English learning. You can relax for the rest of the evening completely guilt-free.
Our second question was sent in by Elena, a university student from Spain. Elena asks, "Hi, every time I set a new goal, I feel full of enthusiasm for the first 2 weeks, but as soon as my initial motivation fades away, I stop practicing completely. How can I build long-term consistency?"
Thank you for that question. This is a trap that almost every learner falls into at some point. The key insight to understand is never rely exclusively on motivation. Motivation is like a match. It creates a bright initial spark, but it burns out very quickly. Discipline and small systems are what keep the fire burning for years.
To build consistency that lasts, make your daily habit so small that it requires almost zero willpower to complete. Instead of making a dramatic promise like, "I will study English for 2 hours every single day," commit to a micro habit like, "I will read 1 paragraph of English every day," or "I will listen to English for 5 minutes every morning."
5 minutes is so simple and easy that your brain cannot come up with an excuse to avoid it, even on your busiest or most tired days. Once you solidify the identity of being a person who practices English every single day without fail, you can naturally expand the time whenever you feel inspired.
What an enriching, comprehensive discussion we've had across all 4 parts of this episode. Let's do a quick final recap of our core principles. 1. Respect your time. Recognize that time is non-refundable. Track your daily schedule and eliminate hidden time leaks. 2. Reject the someday trap. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Take the leap, embrace imperfection, and focus on steady daily progress. 3. Be present. Put away digital distractions and give your undivided attention to the people and tasks in front of you. 4. Build micro-systems. Protect your morning hours, focus on 3 daily priorities, utilize dead time, and start with 5-minute daily habits.
Thank you all so much for investing your valuable time with us today on Fleur Fluency. We want to hear from you now. What is one specific, practical change you're going to make to your daily routine this week? Leave a comment down below. We read and reply to your messages. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this episode with a friend who is learning English. Keep practicing, keep living with clear purpose, and we'll see you in our next episode. Bye-bye, everyone.